Hello everyone, welcome to the 17-Mile Story Collection. Today we'll dive into the immortal cultivation diary of the young Zhao Sr. At the birthday banquet, the Zhao family's relatives had completely changed their tune. Second brother, Zhao's son, is now an immortal's disciple. Back then I was blind, said some harsh words. Don't take it to heart. You know me, sharp tongue, soft heart. I only wanted the best for him. Second sister-in-law, my daughter has been saying from the start she'd only marry your Gooden. She was upset when the engagement didn't happen. Maybe it's time we make this match official. Second brother, your fifth uncle is getting old. From now on, the Zhao family rests on your shoulders. Truth be told, I value your child the most. He'll surpass even your elder brother's sons. Zhao Sen's parents glowed with pride. Soon the feast began, and everywhere were words of praise for Zhao's son. Some, drunk on wine, even slammed the table, saying his father had been cheated out of family property back then, and now they must unite to take it back. But Zhao Sen's father only smiled, never taking it seriously. He knew his relatives too well. What mattered to him now was not the past, but his son's future. The day passed in lively celebration until dusk. When the guests finally left, Zhao's son looked around at the piles of gifts filling the courtyard, his heart heavy with emotion. The old saying rang true: when one rises to immortality, even the chickens and dogs ascend to heaven. That night, his parents asked about his life in the sect. Seeing their hopeful eyes, Zhao's son told his first lie to them. He painted a picture of prestige, respect, smooth cultivation. His parents' smiles stretched ear to ear, their faces alight with joy. For them, he would endure it all. The mockery, the hardship, the loneliness, none of it mattered. Because never before had he seen his parents this happy. 10 years. I can endure 10 years, he swore silently. After 2 days at home, on the third morning he departed. With his parents and the whole village seeing him off, Zhao's son pressed the talisman to his leg and flew away. Even after he had gone far, the voices of admiration still echoed in his ears. But that day, the skies were grim. Dark clouds pressed low, thunder rumbled, mist rose thick between the mountains. Zhao's son quickened his pace, finally returning to Penglai Pavilion late at night. Inside, Li Xiang snored soundly. But Zhao's son tossed and turned, unable to sleep. At midnight, lightning flashed, thunder rolled, and the room lit up for an instant. Zhao's son reached into his hidden inner pocket, where his mother had sewn a special pouch for one thing only, the mysterious stone bead. Under the oil lamp, he studied it carefully. Suddenly, his expression froze. Wait. Last time, there were 5 clouds carved on it. Why are there 6 now? He rubbed his eyes, counted again. Yes, 6. Confused yet fascinated, Zhao's son carefully tucked the bead away. Blowing out the lamp, he lay down at last, falling asleep with a storm of questions swirling in his mind. Outside, the storm raged. Winds howled, lightning split the sky, thunder rolled like drums of war, and heavy rain pounded against the windows with a deafening roar. Zhao's son, fast asleep, suddenly shivered and woke up, his breath misting in the icy chill that had crept into the room. The moment he opened his eyes, he froze in disbelief. A flash of lightning illuminated everything. Dense mist filled the room. The floor and table glistened with water. Even the bedding was soaked through. Yet somehow, apart from his chest being slightly damp, Zhao Sen's clothes were completely dry. His eyes darted to Li Xiang. What he saw made his blood run cold. Frost covered Li Xiang's body, his clothes drenched and frozen stiff, his skin pale with a bluish hue. His teeth chattered violently, his eyes shut tight, his breath faint, barely there. Li Xiang. Li Xiang. Zhao's son shook him desperately, but he remained unconscious, unresponsive. Panic surged. Zhao's son almost rushed out to find help, when suddenly he froze mid-step. Why? Why was he untouched by the freezing damp when everything in the room was dripping wet? Slowly, he looked down at his chest. His hand trembled as he reached into his clothes and pulled out the mysterious stone bead. In that instant, the impossible happened. Every single droplet of water in the room trembled, rose into the air, and hovered weightlessly. Even the frost covering Li Xiang began to turn into mist, gathering as droplets that floated in midair. Another flash of lightning lit the scene. Zhao Sen's eyes widened as those suspended droplets began to glow, transforming into tiny crystal-like sparks that shot straight toward the bead in his hand. Terrified, Zhao Sun threw the bead away and ducked down. The bead hit the ground, rolled, and every last drop of water in the room surged toward it, fusing into the stone until nothing was left. Moments later, the entire room was bone dry. Even the soaked bedding was crisp again. Li Xiang's breathing steadied, his color slowly returning. Outside, the storm still raged, but the sky had lightened, and faint moonlight shone through the clouds. Zhao Sun cautiously picked up the bead once more, only to gasp. The carvings had changed. The bead now bore 7 clouds. A chill ran down his spine, all mixed with fear. If not for the bead, Li Xiang might have frozen to death. Yet what if next time, the bead's power turned on him instead? He reasoned that perhaps he alone was safe because he had been drinking water infused by the bead. Still, his curiosity outweighed his fear. What were these clouds? Why did they keep changing? Zhao Sun longed to test it further, to let the bead drink in the storm outside, but he dared not risk attracting attention. After a long hesitation, he slipped the bead back into the hidden pocket of his clothes. By dawn, the storm had faded. Just as Zhao Sun was about to leave for his chores, Li Xiang suddenly shot upright from bed, blurting out, "Water! Water! I'm dying of thirst." September 11th, 2025. Half asleep, he stumbled to the table, picked up the kettle, and poured for quite a while, yet not a single drop came out. Stunned, he rubbed his eyes and looked around. The bedding was dry and crumpled into a ball. Dazed, he said to Zhao Sun, when did you come back? What's going on here? Is our house haunted by a drought ghost? Zhao Sun gave a bitter smile, pushed the door open, and said, I don't know either. It was like this when I returned. Why don't you ask some of the other brothers? But if this reaches the elders, you'll have a lot of explaining to do, and they might even interrogate you. The other man shook his head hard and said, Forget, I'm not saying a word. Otherwise, they'll question me over and over, and if I slip up on one answer, I'll be scolded for sure. Zhao Sun ignored him and stepped out the door. It was still drizzling outside. After a moment's thought, he hurried away. He was worried the pearl would trigger unusual phenomena in the rain, so he deliberately took narrow paths, circling around until he exited through the east gate. Every drop of water that landed on him was absorbed by the mysterious pearl. He grew tense, afraid someone might notice something strange. At first, he had planned to hide it in his room, but after reconsidering, he abandoned the idea. Outside seemed much safer. He finally reached the spot where he had hidden the dew-collecting gourd. Fortunately, it was still early, and few people were about. Zhao Sun moved with extreme caution, and after confirming no one was around, he quickly stashed the pearl there. With that done, he let out a sigh of relief. His plan was to retrieve the treasure once the rain stopped. After glancing around carefully, Zhao Sun left the area. When he arrived at the chores hall, he was just about to pick up a bucket of water when a door creaked open. Out stepped a Lu surnamed disciple with a sharp, weasel-like face. The moment he saw Zhao Sun, he froze, then, almost instantly, his face lit up with enthusiasm. He rushed forward, snatched the bucket from Zhao Sen's hands, and said warmly, Well, if it isn't junior brother Zhao. How are your parents? These past few days while you were gone, I've been worried about you non-stop. Zhao Sun was startled. He knew this man's sly face all too well. It reminded him of certain relatives back home, but he couldn't figure out what kind of game this Lu fellow was playing today. Senior brother Lu, my parents are doing fine. No need for your concern, Zhao Sun replied cautiously, unsure of his intent. Junior brother, Lu continued eagerly, patting his chest, you don't need to wake up so early anymore. Honestly, when I told you before to haul 10 buckets of water a day, I was only joking, and you actually believed it. From now on, just 1 bucket a day will do. Doesn't even matter if it's full. And when it's time to eat, just go eat, don't wait. If anyone gives you a hard time, just mention my name. It'll work. Zhao Sun looked at him strangely, hesitated, then asked, Senior brother, is there something you want me to do? At once, Lu feigned indignation, pretending to be upset. Junior brother, why are you treating me like an outsider? Am I really that petty in your eyes? You're my junior. Of course it's only natural for me to look after you. From now on, your matters are my matters. As for daily chores, just go through the motions. Whether it's done well or not, doesn't it all depend on my word in the end? Anyway, since it's raining today, you don't need to work. Oh, and by the way, Elder Nyo was looking for you a few days ago. Now that you're back, it'd be best for you to go report to him." With that, he shot Zhao Sun a sidelong glance, eyes narrowed, as if waiting to see how he would react. Zhao Sun paused in thought, a half-smile playing across his face. He had already guessed most of the reason. From what Lu had said, Elder Nyo must have come looking for him after he had left. This Lu must have misunderstood, which explained why he was trying so hard to curry favor today. Zhao Sun didn't expose him. Instead, imitating Lu's old manner, he simply gave a nasal umph. When Lu saw Zhao Sun's expression, his heart sank. He became even more convinced of his suspicion. This useless kid must have had incredible luck and really caught the elder's eye. Otherwise, how could he be acting so arrogant? And from the look of him, he's definitely the vengeful type. I've given him trouble before, sooner or later, he's bound to come after me. Lu had been a registered disciple for 13 years, 6 of them in the chores hall, and he had never once seen an elder personally seek out a registered disciple. On ordinary days, even if an inner disciple was sent instead, that alone would already be extraordinary. He had, of course, considered the possibility that Zhao Sun had somehow offended the elder, and that his own guess might be wrong. But he wasn't sure. Better safe than sorry. Having spent many years in the Penglai Pavilion, he knew well that the waters here ran deep, and someone as insignificant as a registered disciple was far too trivial to risk testing fate. Thinking this, he gritted his teeth, pulled a piece of yellow paper from his robe, and stuffed it into Zhao Sun's hands. "Junior brother, the moment I saw you last month, I felt we were destined acquaintances. This little gift is nothing much, but you must accept it. If you don't—" Before he could finish, Zhao Sun snatched it up. With just one glance, he saw clearly it was a visitation talisman, the kind only registered disciples could use to visit their families. "Very well. Since it's your good intention, I'll accept without further courtesy. But the elder is waiting for me. Tomorrow, I'll come back and chat with you, senior brother," Zhao Sun said with a light smile. Senior brother Lu quickly nodded, envy flashing across his face. Of course. The elder's matters come first. Hurry along, junior brother." Wang Lin appeared calm on the surface, but doubts stirred in his heart. Elder Nyo had actually come in person to find him. What could this be about? With that question in mind, Zhao Sun walked unhurriedly toward the main compound, running through all sorts of possibilities in his head, yet in the end he was still utterly baffled. Could it be that he discovered I have the mysterious pearl? Zhao Sun's steps halted for a moment. After pondering, he thought to himself, if I refuse to go, that would only raise suspicion. Better to play dumb. Besides, the pearl isn't on me. With that, he strode forward with long, decisive steps. Before long, he arrived at the main compound. After announcing his purpose, the same white-robed youth appeared. With a trace of surprise and sarcasm, he said, "What, going home to visit relatives again?" Zhao Sun raised an eyebrow, just about to speak, when suddenly Elder Nyo's voice came from deep within the compound. "Bring him to me at once, no delay." The white-robed youth curled his lip, casting Zhao Sun a meaningful glance before turning without another word and heading inside. Zhao Sun followed silently. When they reached Elder Sun's residence, the white-robed youth excused himself. Before leaving, he gave Zhao Sun another strange look, as if trying to figure him out. A faint tension rose within Zhao Sun. He pushed open the garden gate, and the moment he entered, he saw an old man emerge from a house. The elder's face was etched with deep wrinkles, yet his eyes were bright and sharp. His expression remained cold as he swept a glance over Zhao Sun. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please leave a comment, give it a like, and share it with others. Your support gives me even more motivation.